Hello, IHPA membership. This last February 4th, your board met and we basically, for those of you that don't know, after annual conference, our first meeting of the year, usually in January, we've got snowed out and had to move it to February 4th here. But that meeting is where we really hit the books and have to talk about tons and tons of stuff, vote on everything, and move forward because we're planning our whole year out at that point. Or we're planning even for the next year and stuff. But the meetings from here on out are usually a lot lighter and less intense because we already have plans in place. But this is our big meeting of the year. Some of the stuff here on this was because of annual conference and the surveys we took. So thank you guys. Those of you that actually took time to fill out your surveys or fill out comment cards, thank you. This has given your board a lot of direction that came from membership. We used to be members, yes, but we are now your board, and we don't always know what the majority of you are wanting, and we value what you guys are putting forward before us. So please speak up. Follow my email that's at the beginning of this Follow my email that's at the beginning of the video and at the end of the video, and write into me if you ever have ideas. If you have a new program you're thinking of, if you think of something that could, just for an example, we came up with a $500 scholarship program a few years back where each of our 6 districts, we will find a student in that district and award them $500 for college. Things like that. If you've got ideas in your head that will benefit membership, provide education to the public, that will make IHPA that much better, we want to hear from you. All right. So the first thing here that was on our agenda that's a real thing to talk to you guys about, you know, there's items I'm going to be skipping in here because you don't want to hear about it. It's just reminders from other things, or you'll just find it as silly material that I'm wasting your time with. But it was things that we definitely had to cover to keep the ball moving for our operation. First thing here was the possibly doing quarterly reporting in the buzz of financials. Membership, what has been voiced to us is that membership feels that when they look at that big log of the books at annual conference, it's just a lot to take in. And by that point, the year has already happened, and people that may have voiced opinions earlier in the year, they kind of feel like they've missed their opportunity to be heard. So anyhow, there's going to be a synopsis. We're not going to fill like 2-3 pages of the buzz with financials, which when you look at like Iowa State Fair time, there could be 2-3 pages of the financials, because if we did every line item there, every receipt, every purchase that's done to make the state fair happen, that would be a lot of reporting. So we're going to basically break it down into a nice itemized list that'll say the big items that have come in, the big things that we're working on, our profits, our losses, just to make it simple for you guys. And it will include the contact information for the treasurer. So if you're one of those individuals that really wants to see the 3 pages worth of itemized items, you can write into Lisa, our treasurer, and she will email that back to you. We'll just make that available to anybody that's trying to do that. Anyhow, Lisa's going to be, we don't know how big that write-up's going to be. So here, Lisa's going to have 3 different proposals for the board. Your board's going to discuss it at length here. We have a Zoom meeting that we're going to be hitting up here in about 5 weeks, and we'll probably be covering that, and we'll get it rolled out for the first quarter here in the buzz. The board talked about events and the perks, the fees, just basically, it was brought up at conference. People wanted to know what the board did or didn't get for free, what members did or didn't get for free. And we didn't have any set rules out there that could be located. Different board members said, well, we talked about this 5 years ago, and then it was voted on 10 years ago. And just over time, the board keeps having to vote on this because it doesn't get wrote down. Well, starting last year, very first thing in January, we now have a SOP document out there, standard operating procedure document, and a decision log. And the items are all listed both chronologically and alphabetically. So if the board ever wonders what the black and white ruling was they did 3 years ago, there is a protected database out there where we can search that, find it, review something that was talked about those 3 years ago, and know the quote-unquote rules. So don't worry about it. We'll remember it from now on because that's out there. But so the board talked about the perks and the fees and the different breakdowns of stuff. And we want to have restraint on how we spend your dollars. We respect that the vast, and I mean like 95 to 99% of the funds shouldn't be going to us. They should be going to you, the members, to initiatives with our legislation, to initiatives to benefit Iowans in general, to get education in bees, to not only educate the public, but to also protect bees and to have things that benefit pollinators in general. So most of our funding always goes to those areas. So with that in mind, we did create a set of rules where if individuals are attending our events that are on the board or are volunteers or speakers or somehow related to the event, that the people that absolutely need to be there for the event's functioning, they will be able to get in there. Anybody that is not there for the operation of said event, and regardless of them being a board member or even the president, if I'm not essential for that event's functioning, I will be treated 100% just like an attendee. So that is the restraint we've come up with. We didn't want it to be a free-for-all for the board, for even volunteers. If you volunteered at one event that year, that should not just get you free admission to everything the rest of the year. We just have to be good with our budget and make sure that the dollars we're spending are going on the items that are on our organization's mission statement. So that's basically it in a nutshell. All right. This should excite a lot of you guys. A new program that we are looking into. It's not solidified. I can't make any promises on it, but we're looking at a youth membership. This would be for anybody under the age of 18, and there would be no minimum really on it. But we're kind of toying with the idea of doing an electronic emailed buzz. That wouldn't be necessarily the name of it, but a newsletter that is completely geared just for our youth. So it would be talking at a level of education that would be more geared towards our youth. And there would be mixed articles for different age groups in there. We would also have things such as fun activities in the booklet for different age groups. Even pages for coloring, would be something that we could include in there, where you would get this youth newsletter sent to you, and you could print it out on your home computer and go over it with your kids and stuff. For any of you interested in giving your feedback on this, giving your ideas, wanting to help support it, be that through volunteering or otherwise, go ahead and contact Heidi Love, and through the power of the interwebs, bam, here is her contact information. Go ahead and reach out to her and give her your 2 cents on the matter. And I mean that not as in chewing her out, obviously. I mean, just help us. This is a new program where it seems really exciting that we can come up with something cool like this. I'm always pushing that IHPA doesn't hit the darn repeat button year after year after year on our programs, on our funding, on our initiatives. We need to always think about the future and how we can grow this organization. We don't want this to stagnate. That's how we lose membership. We got to keep it exciting and keep thinking about the next horizon. So contact Heidi there and let her know your thoughts. Maybe you have something that would be monumentally beneficial to this program that we're not thinking of. We need your help. All right. Facebook. We are, this was something where we've been really analyzing our social media presence and how we are communicating to you guys. Obviously, I'm doing a vlog here to try to help foster your awareness of what's going on with IHPA and the different things that we're doing. Facebook right now for our Iowa Honey Producers page, we put a post out there and the page is done up like a personal page. So we can put something out there, but you as a member can't post on our page. You can comment on the thing we posted by, putting your little messages on there and stuff, and that shows up there. But if you want to put an item on our page, it literally goes to like a holding area that nobody seems to be able to access. There's like 10 of us that are editors on the page, and it'll be like, oh, somebody posted to your page and it's waiting for review. But it gives us no link to get in there, and there's no feasible way we can get in there, and it's just bugged us for a while. Sarah Todd, our new vice president, she is a social media guru, basically. I don't want to embarrass her or anything, but for years, she has done just an amazing job of advertising her own business, the Holton Homestead, at any of her friends' businesses. She does live videos, live sales feeds online. She just has a massive following and has great understanding in how the algorithms for Facebook works and for other social media platforms and stuff. So she's taking a lead on this, and she's going to be branching out on our IHPA Facebook page, a group, just like Friendly Beekeepers of Iowa has a group page. The Des Moines Backyard Beekeepers has a group page. And maybe you're saying there doesn't need to be another group page out there, but this will help feed our presence on the web. It will help you stay more informed of what's happening with Iowa honey producers. Because I can tell you right now, we have about 3,000 or 4,000 people that follow the Iowa Honey Producers Facebook page. But when I put a post out there, because of how our page operates and the way the social media algorithms work, we unfortunately only get like 400 to 1,200 views. That means that 2,000 to 3,500 of you that said you wanted to follow our page don't see the posts that we're putting out there. And we're really trying to correct that. So by having this group page out there, and by you liking the group page, you will be able to, just like on any of those other group pages, go ahead and show pictures of your beehive. Submit questions and concerns you have about your beehive, and the hive mind of the community will help you answer those problems. Maybe you just want to show off your freshly bottled honey and stuff that you did, or shoot a video of you extracting honey in your own honey house. It'll allow you to basically put the things that you think are cool on our page. There still is going to be like 10 to 15 of us that's going to be moderating that, so you don't have to worry about being trolled. You don't have to worry about somebody coming on there and having really mean constructive feedback, because with there being so many of us having our cell phones linked into that can moderate it, the moment that we see some sort of rude talk going on, we'll delete those. And if you continue doing that, we'll permanently ban you from the page, type of thing. Just like any other expectation on a page like this. We haven't yet fully discussed the terms on advertising on that other page. There has been quite a bit of talk of wanting that to be inclusive to that page, but with restraint. So maybe we'll take a note from like the Omaha Beekeepers. Their page, if you're a member of the Omaha Beekeeping Club, you can advertise on their page. If you're a non-member, your advertisements get removed. Plain and simple. It makes sense. You don't want all of a sudden some company over in India trying to sell you 10,000 beekeeping gloves. That doesn't really play a part of the Iowa honey producers page. So we will be controlling that. And we will have official decision here, maybe at that Zoom meeting here in 5 weeks, maybe at the next in-person meeting that should be somewhere around 11 weeks out from now, okay? That covers that. Paid positions within the IHPA. This was brought up at annual conference. It was in the comment cards. It's been at probably the last 3 board meetings hinted and talked about here. There was several motions made for either creating new paid positions or analyzing current paid positions. And I can tell you that, again, your board is trying to be very respectful with the dollars that come in through the state fair. We make most of our funding through the state fair. We make some funding through memberships, and we make a little tiny bit, if we're lucky, at the events that we throw. Usually we break even. Sometimes we go way in the hole because, hey, we're actually trying to provide you with benefits to your membership there, and sometimes we go ahead and cover those extra costs. But mainly it's the state fair. But I'm getting sidetracked here. We are very protective, at least your current board is very, and that may come off like I'm pointing fingers at past ones. I just mean in the future, I have no way of predicting, how that will develop in time. But currently, you have a very protective board, always seeking to spend the dollars back on the public, on membership, on protecting bees. I said it earlier in the video, I'm saying it again. So all of those initiatives that were brought up, we nixed that, and all the motions were voted down. Plain and simple, there are no new positions, there are no new salaries, there are no increased salaries. In fact, we went ahead and dissolved one of the state fair booth managers' positions and reabsorbed it into the IHPA budget. We just, after analysis of last year's fair, we decided we did not need quite as many positions, that the other people could share a little bit more of the burden. And people are there because they love the state fair. So I shouldn't say a burden. It really is a gift of love that the people are serving, from opening of the John Deere Ag Building to the closing of John Deere Ag Building for 11 days of the fair. The day prior to the state fair, they are setting up all the products that have come in. The day after the state fair, they are tearing everything down and getting any unsold products back into the producer's hands. Days before the state fair ever starts, numerous ones of that committee are out there cleaning the booth, putting fresh coat of lacquer on the floors, repainting anything, repairing stuff, doing electrical, just gobs of work go into the state fair. And you never, how do I really word this? Just know that the current funding For those few individuals, it is the equivalent of like 50 cents an hour, maybe $1 an hour. So, I mean, it's just that tiny little buffer that's given back to them that helps them cover their food costs during state fair and is a tiny bit of a thank you for literally staying for not only the 11 days of the fair, but the day before and the day after. So you're really talking 13 days from morning until like 9 o'clock at night that the people are glued to that booth. If you're on that board and on that committee, you work sun up to sundown. So, going on from there. So, we're protecting your dollars. Annual conference, the day changes. This is getting proposed here. At annual conference, we talked about this. It was in the surveys. It's been on the comment cards. We tried to do a survey on the Facebook page, and every time we're doing this, we're just getting too small of a sampling of membership. We have, what is it here? I want to say we have about 1,500 paid members right now. But when we're getting sampling back from this, we're only hearing from like 100 of you. And that's not really an informed decision on what membership wants. What is the thing that we're trying to decide here? Year after year after year, your board keeps getting told, I want to attend annual conference, but you keep having it Friday, Saturday. I work Friday. Friday may be Veterans Day, but it's not a holiday that the vast majority of businesses out there give their employees the day off for. And as such, between the cost of conference and me having to take a day of vacation and Friday being the big day of stuff hosted between talks, the business meeting, and that night having the lovely banquet dinner with the extra entertainment and live auction, those individuals that have to work on Friday and are just going to attend Saturday, they don't necessarily want to do that because they already are missing out on the really cool stuff Friday. And those people that are looking at, well, if I really want to attend Friday, I got to use a vacation day. For anybody, look at your own weekly salary and how much you make in a single day and couple that with the fees for annual conference. And it's not great for those individuals. On the flip side of that, we have people that feel that both from a religious aspect and from Sunday being a nice day just to chill out, and it'd be great to come home from conference Saturday and just have that day of downtime on Sunday. For those individuals, they really are adamant they like to have Friday, Saturday off. So it's a struggle here. And we're trying to be, everything that we do, we try to be conscious of what the majority of our membership wants, how we're best serving our membership. And as such, I'm talking in circles here, but we have to get a good sampling and know how the majority of you want it. So we are looking into a way of coming up with an electronic survey that will go out to all of membership. We're probably going to email it out to all of you through third-party software that should nix the problems with getting rejected by email security. And we're looking into a way that only one per email that is listed in your membership there. So if you have multiple people within your house that have memberships and you've listed all of those emails, everybody will once per email get to vote on this and get to cast your feelings on the matter. Do you want our annual conference to continue to be Friday, Saturday because that works best for you? Or would it work better for you to be a Saturday, Sunday event? I hear tons of arguments from both sides, and we're just desperately trying to get the majority of you to answer the question on this. It's not fair that we just take a sampling of 100 and assume that the other 1,400 of you are like-minded with that 100. We need to get a good sampling. So that's what we're doing. Let's see. Moving on here. You guys voted it in that we could change the district map. You voted it in to change the bylaws that the IHPA board could once a year examine the districts and try to divide them up into a fair way of getting better service to those areas. The problem before was it was based on a map that was like 20 years old that was for populations of Iowa and divided up. And like District 5 had, I'm sorry, I forget how many counties were involved, but I want to say that they had to service a fourth or a third of the state. Ed St. John, he had a huge section of Iowa that went from the northern border of Iowa down into the southern parts of the state there, where he was being asked to service all that area, and the practicality of him driving 2 hours from where he lived in part of his district up to the northern border just made it that he could not service those people as well as, say, Jamie Beyer that was in District 4, that's Polk County, Des Moines, Story County. He only had like 4 or 5 counties that he had to service because of the high population. And yes, you may say that population would drive this, but beekeepers are pretty evenly spread out throughout the state. Clubs are evenly distributed throughout the state. There's a few more in the center area here, but the way the borders were drawn up, they actually were popping into District 5, 4, 3, etc. And that was less of a factor. So on swarm calls, they happen evenly all over the state. And if those directors are supposed to be helping out citizens in those areas find beekeepers with the ability to go get them, it just makes more sense to divide the state up by mass or by area than it did by populations. So we've redrawn a map, and here it is. This is also featured on the Facebook page. It is on our IHPA website. You can go ahead and click on clubs and look at the map there. I'm sorry, not on clubs. What am I saying? Pop on contacting us, and you can see the contacting directors and clubs. Not clubs. Why do I keep saying clubs? Committee chairs. Too much coffee today, I guess. So anyhow, you can pop on there, and there's a club map on there. Did it again. Director map on there. And it's also on the membership page. I believe there's a link down there. I know it's listed at least 2 different places on our website. So check it out there. Check it out on Facebook. If you can't find it, write me an email. I will email it back to you so you can see the current director map. And this will stay in effect. Currently, we are looking for a new District 6 director. The way the maps got drawn out, we had a director that after all these years of service wanted to retire. So he has, Ed St. John has stepped out of his District 3 spot, and Dick Osterkamp, who was District 6 director, actually lived in the new District 3 area, and it just made sense for him to pop over into there. Don't worry, any of you clubs that Dick has been visiting and communicating with, that he's been trying to play a major role in, he's been doing a fantastic job. He still is going to be servicing all of your club. It's never a thing where just because a director is down in southern Iowa that he couldn't come all the way up to northern Iowa and visit your club. Always, if you are a club leader, feel free to reach out to all the district directors and any of the board members if you want us to come and visit your clubs and speak upon IHPA or on a subject matter of, any beekeeping education. We'll do it. Just reach out to us. Getting off track here, Dick Osterkamp is now the new District 3 director, which now opens up District 6. And I'm probably doing this backwards on the map here, but for the northwest corner of Iowa, I actually emailed the clubs in those area and just asked if there was anybody wanting to step up and be the new district director. I have not heard back from anybody, but please, what is involved in being a district director? You would be the go-to person for people calling or emailing when there is a bee emergency in your area. That does not mean you have to visit said location. Great if you can. But what that does mean is you are expected to put them in contact with a club or an individual or some resource that can aid them. And we have past lists of that information. We have past people that you can talk to. So you're not just all on your own for trying to figure that out. We can talk to past directors and get you some sort of resources if you don't know anybody in your area. What else is involved? You may be asked to find a beekeeper of the day for your district. So if you just know some other hobby beekeeper, some other commercial beekeeper, some other sideliner, just write up a nice little buzz article on them and they will be the featured beekeeper of the month. And then you are expected to come to the majority of our board meetings. You do not always have to show up to the in-person meetings that we have 4 of a year. You can hop into those via Zoom. For the in-person one, it kind of puts you at a disadvantage because there's always a little bit of internet lag and trying to talk over a computer speaker to get your voice heard. You are highly encouraged to attend in person for the in-person meetings, but you don't have to. For the other 4 meetings of the year, those are solely internet, so we can just get more business done through the year. All that we're asking is that you attend, you're allowed to miss 3 meetings a year. So don't quote me on that. Just attend most of the meetings of the year, either electronically or in person. It might be that you're allowed 2 misses a year, which still, that's just 6 meetings out of 8. And we're talking in the span of a whole year, okay? So, when Honeybee Day comes around, we ask that you email a bunch of cities or county boards within your area. The level of emailing that you do and the level of support that you put into that is voluntary on your part. We just ask you to do it. There's no written rules on it. And that pretty much covers what is wrote in our standard operating procedure document that you could consider would be a job description on directors. Just those items. So if you're willing to do that and you live in that northwest corner of Iowa featured on the map, please consider reaching out to us, and we'll at the next board meeting discuss your voluntary plea for that and try to vote you into the spot. I wish today I could talk better. This is just a bad day for me talking. Legislation that the board went over. I won't cover this. This is in a vlog that I should have already done or will be coming directly after this. And I will cover that in detail just so that this doesn't go on to be an hour-long video and stuff for you to go over. But that was covered in detail on the vlog on Honeybee Day, aka legislation. So please watch that video. And that concludes what happened at the February 4th board meeting that we just had for the year here. If any questions or concerns about the things that I have come up with, or even just questions off the top of your head, following this video, please pay attention to the email there and write me at russianbeeguy@gmail.com, and I will do my best to answer your questions as quickly as possible. Again, Thank you for watching my videos, and have a lovely day.